Yo, man, we gotta talk. We gotta talk, man. We got the laundry in the background, man. We gotta talk. Richard Unicorn Caller here. Today, we're gonna break down the whole, King Isol live stream of cringe. I don't know why, but every time I look at the live stream, like every live stream it's been, it always feels like they're really awkward with each other. Like I don't know, I don't know if this is like a personal thing that bothers me, but like they're so like I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. I don't know. They just seem like they're really like I guess shy or like socially awkward. Like I'm not really sure how to even describe it. Like I really don't know. But going on from that, in that King Isol live stream, they actually dropped some juicy details that I think that a lot of us, or at least a lot of might not like. There's some things that, of course, is not going to be the benefactor for everybody. But personally, for me, I was really happy. So without further ado, let's just talk about everything. The first thing I wanted to note was PvP. Ah, yes, big old PvP. And Ratbeard, I don't really like his Twitter account. I think he's kind of mean. Or at least that's what I thought, because I watched the live stream, and he was actually the only person I listened to throughout that entire live stream. Like, he said what was happening, he said, like, the plans, or he said, like, the dev diary, summarized it in case nobody read it. Like, I actually like Ratbeard. Like, I actually liked listening to him. I don't know, maybe it's just, like, it's really hard to play out Twitter, especially, like, trying to decipher words and see like the meaning or the response of it. You don't know if it's either gonna be the mean type of way, edge way, or like you just don't know. But like listening to him talk about PvP really made me like sit down and understand like, yes, this is what I want. The transparency of what is happening. I love it. So anyway, what he mentioned was talking about how the matchmaking was going to change. He said that depending on the certain level you are or certain tiers, that's basically what you're going to be matched up with. I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like skill-based matchmaking might actually come into Wizard101. That's what I think. I don't think that's actually true, but he did mention though about the whole matchmaking thing. Like it was kind of interesting when he was talking about it too, because he was talking about like level, I guess like 40 to 50 or something like that. No crit, and then shadow like 70 to 90 or something like that. So depending on what level you are, you could see a difference in the type of matchmaking, especially for ranked PvPs or like ranked PvPs and 1v1s and stuff like that. You might actually see a change in that. Now, I don't know if that's going to be implemented with practice PvP, because I think practice PvP has a little bit more leverage on how you can customize it and stuff like that. But for ranked PvP, that's kind of like the official one, and that's how you get arena tickets, and that's how you get your rank and all that stuff. So, very interesting things. He also mentioned that in the future, they're also going to be talking about resist and all that stuff. Again, very interesting concept. I'm really excited about it. And just hearing him talk, like just hearing him talk in that whole live stream really made me appreciate. And that's all you need in the live stream, honestly, was just that. Like that was the only thing that he mentions. But there was also a side note that he also mentioned. He also mentioned how some treasure cards, now, again, we don't know if this is going to be a scrapped idea, but this is what he thought, or this is what he has planned, or something like that. Just a thought. He said something about treasure cards. He said how some treasure cards were unlearnable, but what if he rebalances them in a more like a balanced way and made them trainable? Now, that to me is a big W, because this basically opens Wizard 101 up the whole spell book. This basically gives them a lot of creativity if players wanted to learn more like training point wise. Because for me, I just did the training point buyback. Look how many training points I have. I have like 32 training points. And I'm pretty like happy with most of the spells I have. And I really like the free training point buyback because it lets you kind of like reset your whole spell book, see what you need, see what you don't need, and just swap out cards here and there. So I'm happy about that. And this really, again, this opens the field up for anything, right? Let's go into the spell book and let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. This kid literally, like, this is so creative of them to finally do. I've always wanted to learn some specific treasure cards, but I couldn't because, you know, it was just a treasure card. So let's go to the life spell, right? Let's go all the way over here. Where is it? Spree Swarm, right? 40 plus 360 over 3 rounds to all friends. If they rebalance this or something like that, made it trainable, this could help out a lot of the low levels heal their friends. And personally, for me, I love Spree Swarm. I think Spree Swarm is amazing. Personally, for me, for my healing deck, if I have a Sanctuary up and then my Cycle of Life aura and I pop a critical, the Spree Swarm is going to do some massive healing. And that's only for 3 pips. And again, we can go over to Life Bet. You can't learn this spell. This is just a treasure card, right? But what if they remade this and rebalanced it so then life wizards could then train for this? And even though these are low level things, like even though these are low levels, right? This is still a good, these are still like just nice spells to have in the deck, right? Again, we have whatchamacall. What's another treasure card that you can't learn? Like, what's just a random treasure card? I know, like, Myth has some. Keeper of the Flame. This is a really good one. I'm not sure if it's actually trainable, but I've always seen this as a treasure card. Imagine if Myth Wizards, let's say, because I don't really know if this is actually trainable, but if Myth Wizards could learn this, that would be amazing. What if they could summon Talus instead of just being a treasure card? What if they could just summon them in? Again, Boreas Efreet. What if every school had their own little Efreet and their own little Forest Lord version? We got a Myth Forest Lord right here. Again, opens up the whole creativity spellbook. And whatchamacallit, I don't know what else, other spell, I mean, Lady Blacko, I'm not even sure if that's actually a real balance spell, but again, that could be trainable. This pretty much opens like the whole book. This opens the whole book about everything. Every treasure card that's only been a treasure card has the potential of actually becoming a real spell. Now, I don't know. That's just what he said on the live stream. Everything is obviously subject to change. So I wouldn't have your hopes up too high. But it was a thought that he had. And it's just, I don't know. That's just like amazing to me. That really just opens the book for anything. And what if it's not just treasure cards? What if it's just like spells overall? Like pet specific spells. Alright? This one spell called Hamadryad is overpowered. Let me get a closer image if I can. But Hamadryad is probably the most OP, right? Basically, what this does, like, how do you view the spells? Like, how do you, like... Oh, here it is. Okay. So we got Hamadryad, right? I'm sorry you can't see. But basically, Hamadryad does a 800 base healing, plus removes a damage over time for all your friends. So not only does this does a sane amount of healing, but it also removes a... okay, here we go. We got a zoomed up version of it. And it's only 7 pips, which is a pip lower than Rebirth. I would imagine they would rebalance this to make it like 8 pips. But I would put this in my deck. If this was a real card, I would put this in my deck. And the same thing goes with Spree Swarm. If they had Spree Swarm, I would put it in my deck. That's just how much I love Spree Swarm. Just love healing in general. But again, these are like pet specific. I know Hamadryad is pet specific. I've never really seen this as like a real card or a treasure card, basically. Again, what about Eternal Leviathan, which is the life version of Leviathan? That would be dope to learn. This just opens up the whole spellbook of every single treasure card. Every treasure card that isn't learnable could have the potential chance of being learnable. To me, that's like a major W. I mean, for me personally, I love the idea. I think it's really cool. But let me know what you guys think about all that stuff. Now, going on from the rest of the live stream, you know, they pretty much just said the same thing, that we're getting a new world, Caramel. We're gonna get the level 138 spells and all that stuff. So I think we can predict that the max level is gonna be level 140, or at least that's what I believe. So that would be pretty cool. And then we also have one of, I think it was like Russ or something like that. He mentions that one of his favorite spells to animate, or one of his favorite new spells, would have to be the life one. He mentions that it's kind of a thing, like a creature is gonna be summoned. So I'm really excited, dude. I'm just really excited for this new world. I didn't like the Wizard City Catacombs. I feel like the Wizard City Catacombs, the Wizard City Underground, that one, I just no, that was the. It just didn't feel good, right? The problem with Wizard City Catacombs is that it was supposed to be this type of like Darkmoor type level 130 dungeon, but the problem with that is that the Devourer is so bad to the point where not even that many wizards can get this badge, right? This is called the Undevoured, right? You get this for defeating the Devourer, right? Simple badge to get. Not that many people actually get this badge because not that many people even get up to the Devourer. They stay in team ups. Nobody does team ups for it, and that's not like the boss even drops anything useful, so there's no point of farming him. And just going through the hassle of the entire boss battle, it's not worth it. Even if you have a Juju spammer, if your team is not cooperating, then the Devourer is just gonna mess you up. I highly wouldn't recommend doing the final boss of Wizard City Catacombs, only if you have a proper team, because if you're doing team ups, and especially if you don't have a decent team, and you don't have to have a bad Juju spammer, right? And that's like, I wish they would kind of change that meta of having a Death Jade or a high resist death that just spams Juju, and then, it's kind of like a cakewalk of a boss. I think that's why I actually like the Devourer that much. Even though I said it's like one of the worst, I think this is like one of the best like difficulty bosses, just because it kind of erases sort of that meta. Like if you don't have a Death Wizard, you can still do it. Like I've done the Devourer many times without a Death Wizard, right? It's really easy and simple, but you have to learn how to cooperate and just talk with your team. And some of these other badges, some people probably don't get because they just don't know about the Wizard City Underground. So having a completely new world and having that world available through the spiral door through Bartleby, that one's going to be a little bit better, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to see that. Now, for those of you wondering, I don't think you have to do the Wizard City Underground storyline. The Wizard City Underground storyline, that's totally separate. So I don't think they're gonna force you to complete that in order to play the new world. Well, I mean, knock on wood, I hope not, because it felt like a side world, or it just felt like a side area. I don't think it's actually part of the storyline, so you don't have to worry about that. But let me know what you guys think about their whole live stream and all that stuff. I will let you guys go, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.